Well, so let's go and see what I've actually bought for £43,000. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is a little bit different to the norm because I'm going to take you along with me to a car auction to collect a car I have just bought online. I don't normally buy cars from car auctions because the fees are quite hefty and you don't really know what you're buying. Since COVID, you're not actually allowed to even see the car before you buy it, and therefore there's a lot of risk involved in the process. But with this particular car, I'm not buying it to sell on. It should stay on the channel for a while, and the savings over buying it from a dealer are quite big, and there actually aren't many around to buy it anyway. So if you wanted this particular spec, you may not be able to buy it any other way. It's 7 years old and it's still worth £43,000, so the risks are really high because at 7 years old anything can happen to a car. The auction gives you a brief description of the cosmetic condition, and to be honest, it's not bad. It's not perfect though, but mechanically you're totally on your own, and if the gearbox is knackered, all those savings over a dealer, even a main dealer, have just gone out the window. So let's get in the car, head 100 miles south and see exactly what I bought. Okay, we're here at BCA car auctions in Blackbush. Not the most glamorous place to pick up a car like this, but in theory there are some good savings to be had. But I've got so little information on this car. I know what colour it is, I know what mileage it's done, I know it's one owner. I've got a brief idea of condition, but not a lot, so it's all to play for. So let's go and see what I've actually bought for £43,000. Okay, I've got the keys and the paperwork here. I'm just going to go and join the queue up there to go and get the car. Presumably this is where you park up when you've got your car and you realise you bought a bit of a turd. So let's hope we're not going to be lined up here and we're going to have a pretty good journey back home, fingers crossed.
Right, what are we looking for?
Well, there she is. She's a 2014 Boxster GTS. I think it's Cayman red, not Guards red, which you couldn't really tell from the photo. It's done 30,000 miles, one owner, and it was just under £43,000 with the fees. It's about a 50 grand retail car. It's pretty well spec'd to standard. There's a couple of bits on top standard as well. But the question is, will it start? Does it drive okay? Is the gearbox okay? I don't know anything about this car. There's been no mechanical description of it from the dealer, which was Porsche Retail Group. Right, got the key here then. Let's get in it and see if it starts. So, being a GTS, we've got loads of Alcantara. It's got the leather steering wheel, which I think you could just spec if you didn't want Alcantara. That's probably worn a bit better anyway. Not an awful lot of contrast stitching. It's quite a plain car, but look at that lovely glove box there. Right, foot on the brake because it's PDK, key, terrible choice of radio. There we go. Have we got some fuel? Can't even see the fuel gauge, so it's telling me the trunks are open. If we get rid of that, don't know. Right, so far so good. Let's have a better look at it just outside this car park. You think I'm brave buying a Porsche from auction unseen? Look at these guys. They just bought this 10-year-old Ferrari California. That's what I call brave. No doubt they're having a good look at it before they leave the premises. Yeah. Which would you rather have, a Ferrari or a Porsche? I found the fuel gauge. It's in the right hand dial as a LCD display. It's got 150 miles worth of fuel in it, so I don't have to stop. That's great. So it's Carmine red, not Guards red. I had no idea till I got here. It's a Boxster GTS 2014, 30,000 miles, one owner. It was part X at Porsche Centre Reading who supplied it originally, but it lived in Hertfordshire. And so in the appraisal, they said the back bumper had a poor repair. It's been painted. There is some orange peel on it. It will polish. There is a scratch on the wheels somewhere. Really can't see anything to worry about there. Oh yeah, there's one there. And that one's pretty good. So just one curb mark on the near side front wheel, not the end of the world. Apparently there's some scratches here, but this is how you get the car. This is not a very brilliant way to buy a car like this, because you can't even look at it now, you know. But yeah, it's come from a good source. I think that's the only saving grace why I bought it blind, because I knew it came from Porsche Centre Reading, and they are effectively Porsche GB, so in theory they're not selling crap even at auction. But yeah, let's have a look in here. So that's nice. They haven't been painted round. That can often be the case. The bolsters are good. The floor mats are in the boots. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised it hasn't got the Alcantara wheel, but I think you can spec that out. Look at all this. This is gorgeous. Audi, you need to learn from this on your top cars. GTS in the headrests. We've got cruise. We've got climate control, which is never standard. They just give you manual air conditioning, which is a bit of a joke. And there is the cruise stalk. I've got sport design wheel, which is standard on GTS. And yeah, so got to get it back home yet, which is a good 100 and something miles, but hopefully this will be the car that will take me into Europe in 2022 to make up for the time in 2020 and 2021 where I haven't actually been out the country much, and should appear on the channel an awful lot. So tell me what you need to know, guys. But let's go and get it back to work and see how it runs on a long trip. We've only moved 100 yards so far. Okay, firstly I need to apologise. I've made a bit of a mistake in that my GoPro case here hasn't got a hole in it for the mic, so I'm recording the audio on this one here. It's still going to be okay. So yeah, just left BCA Blackbush, very big auction just to the west of London. Actually never been here before, one of the few sites I haven't been to. And they do a lot of prestige stuff there because of their location. So yeah, first mile in the car, and it feels alright, but obviously it needs to get hot. I think it's getting on for, there's a lot of heat coming out the heater, so it's warming up a bit, but will I make it home? You know, why did the guy get rid of it? Who knows? Why did Porsche not sell it themselves? But it sounds like a car worth fixing if it does decide to blow up, because just listen to that, Sport Plus. So Henry Catchpole, you are to blame for this car when you drove that one in Mallorca to Cap Formentor. And you, Matt Watson, you're to blame for this car as well when you drove in Mallorca and you said, is that thunder? Oh man, it's so good to be in a car that makes some proper good noise. We are going to have a lot of fun together, me and this car, I'm sure of it. Okay, quick sit prep. We're an hour into the journey, just coming up to Oxford on the A34 northbound, and we have had no issues so far, no warning lights, nothing like that. You just don't know, you know, even new cars go wrong, even new Porsches go wrong, so it's not something you can take for granted. I know it's done just 30,000 miles, but it is 7 years old as well. It's probably not been used that much with that kind of low mileage on it, so you never know. But yeah, so far, at 70 miles in, it seems pretty damn good. We're in its quietest mode now, which is when Sport and Sport Plus is off. We've got the suspension in its softest mode. We haven't got the icon on the button illuminated to harden it up a bit. PDK's got 7 gears and they're pretty long, so at this 50 miles an hour here, we're doing about 1400 RPM, and if you come off the gas, the rev counter needle, when it wants to, just drops back so it coasts to save fuel. And yeah, some people will hate that, but if you put it in the sportier mode, it doesn't do that, so it's not too bad on fuel. I mean, it is still a 3.4 litre engine, but I think the 4 litres are, well, they seem much worse really, unless they're tested in a more critical, driving in a more critical way. They do like low under 30, which I'm pretty surprised about, but yeah, I'm hoping this one will do about 30. Porsche, they're generally pretty good when it comes to fuel consumption, so let's see. But yeah, I'm not too worried, because when it sounds that good, I'll stop doing that. It doesn't really matter how much fuel it uses, does it? So. Okay, well here we are at Volkswagen HQ then, about 100 miles north from where I collected the car a few hours ago, and the journey back was pretty textbook, nothing to report at all. Even got back on the petrol that was in the car from the auction, which is very, very unusual. The number of times I used to come out of BCA in Birmingham with like a nothing in the tank and having to go like a mile or two to the nearest petrol station. Yeah, I don't really miss that. And that's another thing about buying from car auctions. You really are on your own. Okay, you can save a bit of money over a dealer, but something like this could very easily go wrong if you've bought the wrong car, or you just, yeah, if it just goes wrong after you've bought it and there's no warranty. You know, cars do go wrong. If you time it badly, whatever you save from buying at auction, you can see evaporate on the hard shoulder of the motorway. So it is a bit of a gamble, but well, it's German, isn't it? So I guess it's a less of a gamble than with some other brands. Yeah, so let's just have another quick look at it then. So I put the roof down because ultimately that's what it's all about. It's a sports car with or a roadster with a convertible roof. So that's a power hood, and I think you can do it on the key as well. So you've got the tinted rear lights being a GTS, got the sports tailpipe, looks a bit grubby, nice little diffuser there. We've got 20-inch wheels in silver. I think silver wheels are going to make a comeback, so I'm not going to change the colour on them. It would be easy to get them painted in black and then cut the edge of them, but no, they can stay like that. We've got red calipers, the all-important GTS logo down there. I couldn't even see from the auction photos whether that was still on the car, so maybe it had been painted and they'd not put them back on, but no, they're both still there. We've got some trick lights, PDLS, Porsche dynamic lighting system. We've got a slightly more aggressive front bumper. I've seen cars with grills before to stop the leaves and stones getting in there. Well, we haven't got those, and we do have a load of leaves, so that's the first thing to do is clean those out. Always a problem with Porsches, leave them in and they just corrode all the radiators. Brake discs look pretty good actually. There is a sticker on that brake disc in another position. Yeah, there it is. Not sure if that's from new, I doubt it really. At the back they've cleaned up a lot, bit of corrosion on the bells, but actually the disc isn't too bad. But sometimes on Porsches it's the inner edge that's really bad, so they need a proper inspection. Inside then, so loads of Alcantara, door cards, bottom of dash, GTS sill covers. The seats, they're nothing special really. Got GTS embroidered in there, but not in a contrast colour. It's quite a low-key interior for a GTS because a lot of them have got contrast stitching, particularly in Carmine red. We've got Sport Chrono, we've got Cruise, we've got PDK of course with the paddles and the Sport Design steering wheel. Of course that's standard. I'm not sure why it's leather, but it does have a dead ahead marker, so that would suggest that was spec'd like that. We've got the trick cup holders, which even took my bike water bottle in that position, so they're pretty good. What else? Oh, we've got the wind deflector, that's often missing. Should we just have a look at the history then? So what I've done with the book, here it is. So the car was delivered in well, it's going to be late 2014, isn't it? So just around 7 years old now. It was supplied by Porsche Cars Reading, which is the head office for the UK as well for Porsche GB. It lived in Hertfordshire though, so it was serviced when it was 2 years old at Cambridge, and again pretty much dead on 4 years old at Cambridge, and again at Cambridge when it was 6 years old. So it's not due another one for another year, which is quite nice. Only done 3,000 miles since then. So yeah, this car was advertised as no history, and it was just in the glove box. So I think anybody who's a serious buyer will have checked with Porsche, because it's quite unusual for a car like this not to be serviced at all. But it probably helped a little bit getting it for a little bit cheaper than it would have been otherwise. Okay, well, thanks for watching this Volks Wizard video. As ever, if you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Please do comment, please do share, please do subscribe. And this car's going to be on the channel for quite a long time yet. Hopefully got some good trips for it planned in 2022. There'll be some workshop action, there'll be some, I don't know, maybe even modifications. So let me know what you want to know about this car in the comments, and I'll try and work them into a video at some point in the future. And I'll see you for the next one really soon.